welcome back to another video. And so today's video I am going to be showing you all the books I would like to read in September. So I did post a TikTok and a short of my TBR, but I have since added more on because I'm filming this late, as a few things have been keeping me from filming this as my life has been a little bit busier. But I have decided to add a few more on, mainly romance, as I felt like I had too much fantasy, and I was like, because it's not my genre, I'm going to get bored quite easily. So I thought I'd add a few on, and this is my last month of doing the challenge with my mum where I have to with the word that in the title. I've talked about it before. So most of these have the word that in the title, and that is kind of what I picked off. That's why there isn't really a fun way of doing it, because I was in Pacific books, more fancy as well, because obviously it's September. In my eyes it's fall, it's autumn, and I am ready for the cozy autumn vibes, even though it's really hot right now and humid, but I am ready. I'm going to stop rambling and let's just get right into the video. Okay, so first off I have Behind the Net. This is one of the extra ones I added from filming the TikTok, and I chose this because it obviously has that in the title, but also I have been so excited to read this. I have been wanting to read it for a while. It's been on my TBR for a while, and it's a hockey romance, I think, or some type of sport, I'm not too sure. And then along with that we also have the second book, which is The Fake Out. Also has the word that in the title, but also another romance. And I saw these on my TBR literally just, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add these on. I need romance, I love sports romance, and I'm very excited to pick these up. These, like I said, have been on my TBR for a while and I've heard amazing about it, so I added it onto my TBR. Okay, then this one I wasn't originally going to add on my TBR. I actually on some live sprints, some of you like to choose between two books, but I thought it has the word in the title. I'm probably going to read it anyway, or at least listen to the audiobook for it. So I was like, I'm going to add it on, but if I don't read it, I don't read it type thing. But I do feel like I am going to, but it's not going to be like a priority type thing out of all of these books. That makes sense because it wasn't chosen initially. We have The Cousins, and since it's nice and short, I thought it would be probably a good audiobook listen, as I don't currently have time to physically sit down all the time and read. So I thought, why not get a book that I know I have an audiobook for that would help me with the challenge type thing. I have added it on. I am excited to read it. I'm a bit nervous though, because yeah, it's not part of the series of One of Us is Lying, but it's from the same author, and I wasn't a big fan of One of Us is Lying, so I am a bit nervous for this one, but I have heard good things about it, so I'm intrigued. Okay, the next one I'm actually really nervous for, and I was debating whether to put on my TBR, but I was like, I need to read it, and that is The Atlas Six. I am very nervous to pick this book up, and it's only because of one, I've heard controversial things about it, and two, I've heard that it's type kind of like a high fantasy in the sense of it can be quite complicated to understand. I've also heard that there's some like slang, like teenage words that people use nowadays, and I'm like, I don't think that's going to be my thing, but I mean, I'm going to give it a go because at the end of the day I bought it, and I do have the second book as well, but I didn't put that on my TBR because I didn't want to overwhelm myself. I have had this on my TBR for a while as well, so it kind of helps me with knocking down my TBR a little bit, I suppose, especially with books I've had on there for a while. I brought this, I want to say last year, but it was probably longer than that, and when I say last year I mean the beginning of last year. So like I said, it probably was longer than that, but I have no idea what this is about, if I'm being completely honest, but I am kind of intrigued and nervous. This book I am so excited to get on into it, and I'm surprised I haven't read it yet. It's just I generally haven't had time, and I want to down and just read this book in one sitting type thing, because I know I am going to love it. I know I'm going to be addicted and not want to put it down, and that is Play Along by Liz Tomford. This is the fourth book in Windy City series, and fourth book I rated 4 stars. It was okay, I still really enjoyed it though. The second book 5 stars, absolutely love. The third book 4.75 stars, like the second and third book. I will recommend forever. If you haven't read it yet, please do. Please read it, it will literally change your life. But this is the fourth book, and I have already heard amazing things about this book. When I say this is probably like the book I'm most excited for on my TBR, I mean it. Like, considering I'm literally looking at one that I'm very excited to start, this is the one that I'm most excited for. Unfortunately it doesn't have that in the title, but I am so excited for this, and I might try and read it in a reading vlog so we can get all my reactions, because I don't believe I read others in a reading vlog, so I'm very excited for this. I can't stop saying that I'm excited. That is how excited I am. So I'm gonna move on before I just keep repeating myself about this book. Okay, then the next book I have already started, but I put down, I started it at the end of August, and that is the Happy Ever After playlist. I just want to finish this one. I am liking it, I just haven't had time to finish it, so hopefully I can finish it this month. But I mean, it's another Abby Jimenez book. Been here for a while, you know that Abby Jimenez is one of my favourite authors, so we already know I'm liking it. Okay, next we have The Serial Killer's Wife. This is also one I was meant to read in August, but I never did, so I am moving it over onto September TBR, and I'm very excited to read this. There's also a TV show for it, and I would love to watch that, but obviously I want to read the book first. It does sound really interesting. It says Beth and Tom are the envy of their neighborhood. They have the perfect marriage, a perfect house, a perfect family. When the police knock on their door one evening, Beth panics. Tom should be back from work by now. What if he crashes Carl? She fears the worst, but the worst is beyond imagining. As the interrogation begins, Beth will find herself questioning everything she believed about her husband, the saying he's a monster, and that she knew everything. So, isn't that just intriguing? I haven't really heard much about this, if I'm being completely honest. I haven't really heard anyone talk about it. I just found it in the works one day and thought it looked good, and I bought the first and second book. Okay, then we have a book I brought recently, and I thought I'm going to put on my TBR because I love this author and I just love vibe, and that is Off the Races by Elsie Silver. Elsie Silver books I love, never let me down, and so I thought I want to read this. It also does kind of seem like it could be a quick read. Yeah, it is 432 pages, but I feel like I could possibly fly through this quite quickly. I don't know what it's about. I'm going to try and go into it as blind as I possibly can, and we'll see. It'll be a small town. Oh, I just saw small town, which isn't surprising, but yeah, I'm in the mood for a small town romance. I'm in the mood for a Pacific Elsie Silver small town, because they just hit different. And then another new one I recently got is A Daydream by Hannah Grace. This recently came out, and I love Icebreaker, I love Wildfire, and so I'm excited for this one. I haven't heard too many people's opinions on it so far because it has only recently come out, but I am very excited. And special edition that I got from the works, Sprayed Edges, love it. But yeah, I don't know what this is about, to be honest. As a chronic procrastinator, Henry Turner always knew his junior year in college wasn't going to be easy. This is before he made ice hockey captain, as well as learning himself in the difficult class with his least favourite professor. Thankfully, it's then that Henry meets Hallie, fellow junior who he immediately befriends. Academic pressure has never been a struggle for Hallie, but as an introverted people pleaser with a tendency to overcommit herself, she can't help but offer to help Henry pass his class. In turn, he offers to help make college life a little more inspiring. Just a thing she needs is an inspiring novelist. Okay, so this is kind of giving off about Kennedy vibes, but obviously it's just different reasoning. Interesting. I don't know, it could just be me that's thinking it gives off vibes, but this cover as well is just so cute. But yeah, I'm excited. The next two books I'm rolling over from last month's TBR because I never got to them, unfortunately. I never finished my TBR last month, but I think that's because I went away on holiday and I didn't like to take any books, so I just didn't read them. But those are Dating You, Hating You by Christina Lauren. Again, I feel like this might be a good audiobook, and I have a lot of diamond painting to do this month, so I need quite a few audiobooks. I also have a few other things. So again, I needed quite a few audiobooks, and I just thought this would be a good one. I find that I love listening to a Christina Lauren book on audio while doing something, just because it's so easy to listen to and it doesn't really take much brain power, and obviously that's what I need in an audiobook, especially when you're doing things where you don't really have to focus too much on it. So I thought this would be the perfect book. Don't know too much about it. I have read the back a few times. I think if I remember correctly, it was about like some mutual friends. It's kind of like a friends to lovers or something like that. I can't really remember too much, to be honest. And then we have Exodus by Kate Stewart. This is the second book in the series. I can't remember, the Ravenhood series. And the first book I didn't even rate. I'm not gonna lie, I didn't rate it because I can't even explain that book to you. The ending of that book, wild. Like if someone asked me, oh, what was the first book about, I couldn't tell you, just because it's like such a confusing thing. Like there's a bit of romance in it, there's mystery in it, there's a lot in it, if I'm being completely honest. But I couldn't tell you, honestly. I could not tell you because it's just so mind-boggling. And when people say that they are quite confused about what this series is specifically about, just going off by the first book, I completely understand. And I can completely understand why people say you either love it or hate it. I don't know how to feel, and I'm not rating the books until I've read the whole series, because I just don't know how to feel about it, if I'm being completely honest. I don't know. But let's just say when I finished the first book, my mouth hit the floor and I did stare at a wall for 5 minutes because I'm like, what did I just read type feeling. So I'm excited to get on into this one, continue, and possibly feel the same way again. Obviously, along with that, I am putting the third book on my TBR, The Finish Line, because one, I feel like I'm going to want to continue the series straight away. I wanted to when I finished Flock. The only problem was I had to read books for other things, so I didn't. I have a feeling I'm going to want to continue. Also, this book has the word "that" in the title, so it'll be very helpful to me. Also, I want to finish the series. I want to finish the series, and I want to find out things, you know. I want to try and understand this a little bit more. I've also heard people say the more you get through the books, the more emotional they get. So, I don't know. I'm going to hopefully try and finish the series, so we'll see. Okay, so then we have Daisy Hates. I would like to read this book so that I can get to the next 3 that have "the" in the title, and 3 books would help me. I'd also love to finish the series. I haven't put the whole series on my TBR though, because I don't want to like overdo it, but I'm hoping to finish the series this month. We'll see. I'm excited for this because obviously this is the first book with Daisy and, is it Christian? I've heard that they're people's favourites. So, I'm excited because I do have a feeling that they're going to be my favourite as well. Magnolia and BJ, I didn't hate, but like I wasn't a big fan. Like the first book I rated 3 stars, was it 3.5? I'm not sure. I think it was 3. I didn't hate it, I didn't love it type thing. It was an okay type thing. But I am intrigued to continue with the series, and I would like to complete the rest of the series. Okay, so that was the last romance that I was going to show you. So now the rest fantasy, I believe, unless it's a mystery thriller or something, I'm not too sure. Lastly, we have What Lies Beyond the Veil. This book I haven't heard anything about. All I know is I found it in the works and it looked interesting, so I picked it up. But from when I read the back, it says, for 100 years the veil has protected humans from the Fae. Safe behind their walls, humanity has turned from the old religion of decadence and sin, of worshipping the new gods who value purity and obedience above all. Dreamed her whole life on marriage, Estrella dreams of something more, and when the Lord of Misfell murders his wife, claim her as his own, she has a choice: accept his offer or be sacrificed to the veil. But on the night of her sacrifice, the veil shatters, unleashing the Fae and branding Estrella with their mark. The misguide would kill her to stop the Fae from taking her, and who knows what the Fae will do if they catch her. Forced to flee with her brother, Estrella soon runs into another one of Fae marked, the broad and brooding Caleb. With her life on the line, here's a distraction she can little afford, yet she can't stay away, not even with something greater on the line, her heart. So it seems like I have a bit of romance in it as well, which will be nice, as I do like more romantasy than fantasy personally. I'm very excited to give this a go because it does sound really good. And like I said, because I haven't really heard anything about it, I don't have anyone else's opinions to kind of back in my own, if that makes sense. Okay, then we have Maidens, and I have read The Silent Patient by this author before. I think this is a mystery, and I have heard great things about it. I'm going to try and go into this kindly. Just by the look of it, I don't think this would be my thing, but I don't want to obviously judge something by the look. And it says we all keep secrets even from ourselves. It's interesting. Like I said, I'm going to try and go into it blind, not knowing too much. Like I said, I've heard good things about it, I just haven't heard what it's about specifically. Next we have The Institute by Stephen King. Will be my first ever Stephen King book, and I am excited but nervous as well. I would like to try and collect quite a few Stephen King books. I would love collection, and this is the first one. I don't know what this one is about. In the woods of Maine, there is dark state facility where kids abducted from across the United States are incarcerated. In the institute, they are subjected to a series of tests and procedures meant to combine their experimental gifts, telepathy, telekinesis for concentrated effect. Luke Ellis is the latest recruit. He's just a regular 12-year-old boy, except he's not just smart, he's super smart, and he has another gift which the institute wants to use. Far away in a small town in South Carolina, former cop Tim Jameson has taken a job working for the local sheriff. He's basically just walking the beat, but he's about to take on the biggest case of his career. Back in the institute's downtrodden playground, and the corridors were posters advertised just another day in paradise. Luke, his friend Kalisha, and the other kids are in no doubt that they are prisoners, no guests, and there is no hope of escape. But great events can turn on small hinges, and Luke is about to team up with a new, even younger recruit, Avery Dixon, whose ability to read minds is off the scale. While the institute may want to harm their powers for ends, the combined intelligence of Luke and Avery is beyond anything that even those who run the experiment, even the infamous Mrs. Sigsby, suspect. Also, this is a thrilling suspense, heartbreaking. It's true, it's a stone novel of childhood betrayed and hope regained. Ooh, okay, so this does sound really interesting. Normally something I would pick up, but like I said, I want to try something new, and I have always wanted to try and read a Stephen King book, so this is the one I'm going to start with. And it has that in the title. Positive. Okay, and the last two books I'm so excited for. Like, these are the books I'm excited for after Play Along. That's on my TBR. Like, the most excited. And that is The Serpent and the Wings of a Night and The Ashes and the Star Cursed King. But I would love to read both of these books. One, they both have them in the title. Two, I've been wanting to read them for a while. Three, it involves vampires and werewolves, which is just my thing in general. I love movies, I love books with vampires and werewolves, so I just feel like these are going to be my books. And yes, they're going to be fantasy, but I just feel like I like them. And then obviously in the middle of these there is, like, I think it's a novella called Six of Scorches or something like that. I'll obviously read that as well in between. So those are all the books that are on my September TBR. There are quite a few, but I'm hoping to get through majority, if not all of them, as most of them have that in the title. There's some that I just want to read or I'm really excited for, so we'll see how it goes. But let me know in the comments if you'd like another Can I Read My Monthly TBR video, as I didn't do one last month. I didn't really have time, but I did do it in July, and yeah, let me know if you'd like another one. I'd be happy to do it, and I feel like there's quite a few to choose from. I can't promise I'll read all the books in that video, as I probably would have read some by then, but whatever I have left, I'll do my best, and I'm very excited to read this TBR. There's some exciting ones because there's a mixture of genres, which is fun because normally I have loads of books, just that is one genre. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. If you would like to leave a comment and not sure what to say, please leave this emoji. Thank you all so much for watching. Please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope you have a nice one. Bye.